What's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy Doe back again with another reaction. Look, we got rigged moments in NBA history. What's a rigged moment? I know it's that one referee. Besides, I don't know no rigged moments like that was super obvious. But you know what I'm saying? That's what these videos is for, you know what I'm saying? For some insight, man. But before we start the video, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. And let's knock this out.
The NBA league generates over $8 billion annually. The NBA is a big business. Running that business can involve vetoing trades, prolonging playoff series, and enabling big market teams to get high draft picks.
You know what's rigged? You know what's rigged? Adam Silver letting Blake Griffin, Marcus Aldridge, James Harden, you know what I'm saying? All of them go to the Nets. I think that's rigged. Because David Stern would never. Adam Silver, grow a backbone, bruh. Grow a backbone, bruh.
And this video is for you, because here are the most controversial moments in NBA history.
Controversial
2002 Western Conference Finals, Game 6. The Sacramento Kings had the best record in the league in 2002 and were on the brink of their first NBA Finals, leading the Lakers 3-2 in the West Finals. The Lakers didn't have a solution for the super talented Kings, and that's when the officials decided to offer a helping hand. Almost every call down the stretch of Game 6 was terrible, and the Kings players got fouls just by looking in Shaq's general direction. The Lakers shot 18 more free throws than the Kings in the final quarter, but it was
in a quarter? Hold up. All right. When you shoot 18 free throws in a quarter, it's a problem, bro. I ain't gonna lie about that.
The pièce de résistance of bad calls happened 1 minute before the end.
Nah, they said 18 more free throws. So if they shot more than 18 free throws, that's a problem.
Is Bibby's foul.
That's a problem.
All she wrote. The Kings lost the game, and then Game 7 as well.
Bro, I hate when
and everybody with a healthy pair of eyes
shirt sleeve
what kind of a robbery it
curled
was.
Up.
Tim Donaghy, an NBA ref who was convicted for fixing games, said that this contest between the Kings and Lakers was blatant fraud, and that the NBA instructed the refs to set the Lakers up for an NBA Finals appearance to increase the TV ratings. Like he always did, David Stern denied all accusations, even though he admitted that the refs were bad in Game 6. 1985 draft
I wish Adam Silver would admit that. Y'all be trending on Twitter every goddamn night about y'all's refs. I wish he would admit that. Stand up and grow some, man. Y'all gonna get me banned. They gonna get me banned. Watch. I keep talking crazy. They gonna get me banned.
As the decider for the top pick in the draft. The lottery system was supposed to be less controversial and
they ain't gonna let me in an NBA game.
But the inaugural lottery ended up being the most controversial of them all. By the 1985 lottery,
hey, bro, you know what would be funny? You know what would be funny? If like 3 of them, 4 of them, nah, they all 7 got to be in there. But what if they was like, what if it was like this? Every pick in there was the Knicks. They went on commercial break, came back, and then started filling them with regular ones. That would be funny.
Had an equal 14.3%
that would be hilarious,
chance to win the first pick, which meant the right to select Patrick Ewing, a consensus best player in the draft. The NBA didn't use the ping pong balls they do now. They actually put large cards into a tumbler, spun it around, and David Stern would select one to be the top pick. There was controversy coming into the draft when Stan Kasten, then the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks, told the general public that the draft was a setup and that the Knicks will be the lottery winners because they are the biggest market and the biggest breadwinner for the league. When that indeed happened, conspiracy theories started to come up in a whirlwind. The lottery was organized by an accounting firm, Ernst & Whinney, which was owned by the Knicks. Jack Wagner, a partner at Ernst & Whinney, placed the envelopes in the drum and curiously happened to bang one of the envelopes and made a small dent, which happened to be the Knicks envelope. Some people also put the Knicks envelope in a freezer so Stern would know which one to pull out. When asked about the setup, Stern defended himself by asking, "Why would I put myself and the league at such a huge legal risk? That's crazy." 2000 Western
Finals,
a
legal risk? Y'all a private company.
Shaq was on a mission in 2000, and in the best shape of his life, he won the NBA MVP and was determined to win his first title. But the Lakers ran into the most challenging possible opponents in the Western Finals,
Sabonis' dad, ain't
the
it?
Portland Trail Blazers. who were often called the Jailblazers during that era.
The
Jailblazers were
Jailblazers.
tough as nails, and they also had a really talented team that pushed the Lakers to Game 7. There,
Damn.
it seemed like Kobe and Shaq would leave empty-handed once more, with the Blazers leading by 16 late in the third quarter. However, with
Easy,
some
bro.
Portland misses here, some terrible ref calls there, and a spectacular alley-oop from Bryant to Shaq, the Lakers completed a comeback and
Yup,
secured a trip to the NBA
Montes
Finals.
Sabonis
Due to many
bad.
bad calls and
He was
Scottie
nice.
Pippen and Arvydas Sabonis fouling out in Game 7, this game was considered a huge steal in favor of the Lakers. 2006 NBA Finals.
All right. Now y'all know about
The
the
NBA
disrespect Dwayne Wade, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't disrespect D Wade, bro. You can talk about him all day. You can talk about, because I be cracking jokes about him all the time. But when you talk about his career, nah, you gotta put respect on his name. He was hooping. Stop it.
Finals is one of the most
don't
watched sporting
discredit
events
the
on the
2000
planet. And
don't
it's in the
dis-
league's
don't
best
discredit the
interest. It
2006
lasts as
finals,
long as it
bruh.
can. So when the Mavericks took a 2-0 lead in the 2006 finals and were up by double digits in Game 3, it seemed like the series was over, which wasn't too pleasing for David Stern. But that's when Dwayne Wade saved the day for the Heat and the NBA. Young Flash played out of his mind, willing his team to
Out of his
victory in Game
minds.
3,
He said that with a
albeit with a
plural.
bit of a push from the refs. But what was a little wind in the Heat's sails in Game 3 was an absolute hurricane in Game 5, when Wade went 21 for 25 from the free throw line, shooting as many freebies as the entire Mavericks team. In the final 4 games, of the
James Harden
series,
does this all the
Wade shot
time.
an average of 18 free throws per game. The Heat would win all those games and clinch their first title, but it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Mark Cuban was livid, accusing the league that the games were rigged to increase revenue, and many people agreed with him. Of course, David Stern was not among those people.
This is before James Harden time, so never
Cuban
mind.
got
Let me
a
stop talking about it. I'm bringing up something. I'm bringing up
a reminder that
nah,
he may
man.
be a shark on Shark Tank, but the biggest and meanest fish in the NBA was still Mr. Stern. Chris Paul trade vetoed. Chris Paul got drafted to the NBA in 2005.
Hey, bro, at least David Stern said, at least he got on that stand and said, nope, not happening. Not happening. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about them being on TV, nothing. That ain't happening. Adam Silver, he be up in his little cave. Durant was Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin. He wants to go to the Nets. Go ahead. Like a punk.
Quickly
Throw
becoming
some
a big
balls
star,
and say
the best
no.
point guard in the league. However,
Stop giving
Orleans
these
was never a
bros.
serious
They
contender during his
complain.
tenure. CP had no desire to extend his expiring contract in 2011, so the club had to trade him. The Hornets
Goodness
general
gracious,
manager
bruh.
Del Demps agreed on a 3-team trade, and Paul should have gone to the Lakers.
He should have.
sent All-Star Pau Gasol to Houston, and the Hornets would have gotten back a package of 4 players and multiple draft picks. But the Hornets, now called the Pelicans, had no owner at the time, and were temporarily led by then NBA Commissioner David Stern. Stern acted as a representative of all the other NBA owners, who feared that the combination of Paul and Kobe Bryant would be unstoppable. Under their influence, Stern vetoed the trade.
I wish we had a commissioner. I think Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving would be unstoppable too. But he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't care. He just wants revenue from one team. You know what I'm saying?
Trade under the
It's cool,
pretext
though.
that it was not in the Hornets' best interest. 4 days later,
It's cool.
Paul
The
was
only
traded
team
to
that-
the LA Clippers for Eric Gordon.
Look,
Alfred
the only team that could compete with the Nets, Sixers, Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets. Those are only teams. Clippers maybe not, because they be bullshit. They play too much. I don't like that. So it's really like 3 teams that can even compete with them. So y'all cutting out 26 teams for some bullshit,
Camino
bro.
and Chris
For
Kaman.
real.
In retrospect, a far worse deal than originally proposed. Stern's decision to nix the first trade was
Farouk
greeted with
Aminu could hoop,
enormous
though.
backlash from the fans around the league, and some still consider it illegal today. The GM Del Demps was not authorized to make that trade, and acting on behalf of owners, we decided not to make it. I was an owner rep. There was nothing to veto. It just never got made. Stern later explained.
Okay.
2012 draft
Okay.
lottery. The NBA bought the New Orleans Hornets in 2011 for $300 million to to ensure the franchise's financial solvency and the health of the league as a whole. After David Stern had his hands in the Chris Paul trade and got an enormous amount of flack for his involvement, he wasted no time to find a new owner who would relieve him of his newfound GM duties. By April 2012, the NBA found a buyer for the Hornets.
Is he still the
Saints owner
owner?
Tom Benson purchased the team for
about to search
$338
that up.
million.
Oh, my fault.
Benson then needed a superstar to bring fans to the arena, something Stern was very hopeful to accomplish as well, partly to make up for the Chris Paul fiasco. Despite having only a 13% chance of winning, the Hornets won the lottery and drafted Anthony Davis. Luck, coincidence, or something else, it only gave birth to
Yo,
another round of
Benson.
boos for Stern.
Wait a second.
1988 NBA Finals Game 6. In
Hold up.
1988, the Lakers were the NBA.
Dude that owned. Wait a second. So the dude that owned the Pelicans has it in his wife's name, but he also owns the New Orleans Saints. They get into the bag.
Powerhouse, and its most popular team.
They get into
while the
the
Pistons
bag.
were the bad boys.
Why is it?
And not
Can-
that much.
why
like
is it
outside
doing
of
that?
Michigan. The two teams met in the NBA Finals.
Freaking hate that
The
shit.
Pistons had the chance to take all the marbles in Game 6, leading the series 3-2. And what a Game 6 it was. The Lakers led at halftime, but Isaiah Thomas scored 25 points in the third quarter,
He be
despite
hooping.
severely injuring his ankle and barely standing. With his one-legged heroics, the Pistons were on the brink of their first title in franchise history. But that's when the refs got involved. With 14 seconds left and the Pistons up by 1, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was fouled by Bill Laimbeer on a play where Laimbeer did not appear to even touch Jabbar. The Lakers won the game and eventually the championship in Game 7, but many believe that the Pistons were heavily robbed. Dikembe Mutombo congratulating the Sixers on the first pick. Considering the cloud of the draft
How is that
lottery
rigged?
and all the conspiracy theories out there, Dikembe Mutombo certainly didn't help the league out and has added fuel to the fire with his tweet in 2016. He congratulated his former team, the Philadelphia 76ers, on landing the #1 pick, which would have been perfectly okay if he didn't do that 17 hours before the actual draft lottery. Sure, Philly had the best odds to land the first pick, and maybe Dikembe was just really optimistic.
That's funny
or
as
maybe a
hell.
little confused. Perhaps he had a night out and forgot what day it was. It happened to me more than once, so no judging here, Dikembe. Whatever it wasn't a good look for the league, who's been dealing with accusations of fixing the lottery for decades. Mutombo deleted the tweet, but Philadelphia ended up with the first pick, thus putting on another layer of
That's
intrigue
cool.
to the integrity of the draft lottery. 1993 draft lottery.
Damn, they just
Orlando
call it
Magic
every
had won the
draft.
1992 lottery and selected
Rigged,
Shaquille
bro. What
O'Neal
the
as the
hell?
first pick in the draft. Shaq was a dominant force from the get-go, and he pushed the lowly Magic to a 41-41 record. But they were still one win short from the playoffs, and thus got another chance in the lottery. This time, they only had a 1.5% chance to win it. But as you can probably guess, that's exactly what happened. Orlando was a new up-and-coming franchise at the time, and for them to win 2 lotteries in a row seemed far-fetched. And some people believe it was in the NBA's best interest to push the odds in Magic's favor. Draymond Green's suspension in the 2016 NBA Finals.
All
During the
right.
20
This is what we're not about to do. We're not about to disrespect LeBron and D Wade in one video talking about they finals is rigged. Stop it. Draymond Green, bro, he needs to stop with the shenanigans, bro. Stop with the shenanigans. That's what got his ass ejected and suspended. He played too much. He's with the shenanigans. That's his problem. That's the reason why that's why he got
2016
suspended.
Western Finals, Draymond Green had hit the Thunder center Steven Adams in the
Like,
groin
look, he was
twice,
doing this shit
showing
in the-
precision
bro,
that far exceeded
and
his
niggas want
shooting
us to
touch in
feel bad
basketball.
'cause he got
Green said it was
suspended.
not on purpose, and that he does not want to deprive anyone on the basketball court of the opportunity to one day be a parent. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, the NBA said back to Draymond, explaining that kicking people in the family jewels can be an accident once, but that the second kick will be treated as a flagrant foul. It was Draymond's third flagrant in the playoffs, and the next one meant that he would earn himself a 1-game suspension. The Warriors would then proceed to the NBA Finals and gain a 3-1 lead over the LeBron-led Cavaliers, but would have to play without Draymond in Game 5. After a scuffle with LeBron in Game 4, Draymond took a swing where LeBron James doesn't like to be touched by anyone other than Mrs. James. It was his third ball strike, and he was out for Game 5, which swung the series in the Cavs' favor. and was the main reason the Warriors didn't celebrate another championship.
Huh?
Even though the Warriors fans argued that a call like that can't be made on the grandest stage, and that the suspension is overblown.
Hey, bro, that was the
smiling
latest
partly
championship
gritty,
ever,
and the
bro.
decision to suspend Green was probably the correct one.
That was the latest 2016 was the latest championship ever. What you talking about, man? LeBron got a ring in Cleveland, man. Stop it, man. Stop hating on LeBron, man. I know you don't like him, but he the greatest of all time, better than Jordan. But look, YouTube, man, I'm out of here, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and catch y'all boys on the flip.